Today we're doing a front door makeover, and I just wanted to give you a few tips on how we're going to do this with Fusion Mineral paint. So I have a few supplies with me here today. We've got our TSP, we have coal black, which is the paint color that we're choosing for the front door. I have a paintbrush, and I may use a roller as well, and I've got some rags and some sandpaper, so we'll get started. Okay, so the TSP here, what I love about this is it is concentrate, so we're just adding it with water. I've had two capfuls put into a liter of water, and it's organic, and so once you apply it to your door and wash it off, the nice thing about the Fusion Mineral Paint brand is you don't have to rinse it off. So I'm just taking my rag, I'm just going to dip it right into the water. I'm actually going to saturate it and just wring it out. And of course you could use a bigger rag, but I am just going to get started. And you can see already I've just taken a little bit to it, and you can see the dirt that's coming off. So I'm going to go over all the details of this door, make sure that it's super clean before I even think about adding paint. What would happen if you didn't clean it properly is the paint wouldn't adhere as well. And especially with the front door, with multiple weather conditions that it's going to be facing, we want to make sure that we've done the prep work before we add the paint. So TSP first, I'm going to do the rest of this, and then we'll check back in for step number 2. Okay, we're at step number 2. The door is now all clean. I've got 220 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to sand the front door just to get rid of any imperfections, any bumps. You can see that there's a little bit of paint here on the door, and quite a bit of dirt that looks like it's embedded. So it is clean, but I just want to give it an extra sanding just to smooth it out before we apply the paint. So here I go. Alright, so I've got this green painter's tape, and I've just taped off the hardware so I don't have to remove it. And then I've got my paintbrush, and I actually have a paint tray and a roller. So I am going to go into all the details with a brush first. You can see that there's some trim and some details that a roller can't get into, but I also want to make this process quick. So I'm just going to take my paint poured in the tray, and then I'm going to roll it over top of the flat surfaces. I have chosen, so we've got coal black from Fusion Mineral Paint. I am going to pour some in the tray, and that's probably more than enough. You're going to see that the paint goes really, really far. I'm just getting all the drips off of the side of the jar, because as soon as I add the lid and there's paint there, it will seal the cap. So put that back on. So I'm just gonna do all the detail work with the brush first. This is a 2-inch brush from Meister. I know I'm not gonna pronounce that right, but I'll put the link below for you guys to check out the products that are in this door refinishing. And I'm just gonna get started. And you can see I'm doing a super light coat. I'll probably have to do 2 coats, but I want that first coat just to be really light. So there's no drip marks, but it's getting into the details. And the temperature is perfect today for painting the front door because it's not too hot. So I know my paint is going to dry fast, but it's not going to dry too fast to leave brush strokes. I'm going to make sure I get right into the grooves. Okay, so I'm going to just take my roller. As you can see, I've done all the trim work. I'm just going to, it's just a foam roller, just a smaller, I believe it's a 3-inch, and no drips or anything. Super light on the paint roller, and I am going to do through all the flat surfaces. Okay, so I've finished the first coat of the door. I am not going to close it, so do make sure you have enough time where you can leave your door open for it to dry. You can see already it is starting to dry, and that there are little patches where it will need a second coat. So I'm going to wait for it to dry. Now, I think they say to wait 6 to 8 hours before you add your second coat, but I think I'm just going to go right ahead and add a second coat as soon as it's dry to the touch, and then I'll show you the final project. Second coat goes on a lot better because I've got that good coat on the first. So less is best, right? We don't want any drip marks. Don't get too generous with the paint, but do make sure you get some good coverage. It's a gorgeous day, so all of our neighbors are outside doing their own maintenance, but I just love the finish of the front door. It is gonna stay open for a couple of hours. Once it's dry to the touch, it doesn't mean that it's cured. If you want to see more videos on how to use Fusion Mineral Paint for different projects around the house, do check in with us, follow us, and if you liked any of the tips in this video, feel free to leave a comment as well. So if you want to learn more about the products, you can check out the website at homeworksetc.ca, and we'll check in with you soon.